Ever dream of taking a bite out of the Big Apple? Well, buckle up because we're about to embark on a week-long tour of the city that never sleeps. New York, baby! From the Statue of Liberty to secret local haunts, this is your all-in-one, no stone left unturned guide to conquering New York City in just 7 action-packed days. So whether you're a first-timer or a seasoned New York veteran, I'm gonna show you how to squeeze every last drop of excitement out of this concrete jungle without breaking the bank. I'm talking budget-friendly eats, free attractions, and insider tips that'll make you feel like a true New Yorker. Ready to paint the town red? Or should I say, taxicab yellow? Let's dive in. First things first, where to rest your head in the Big Apple. When it comes to accommodations in New York City, you've got options that'll make your inner budget-savvy traveler do a happy dance. Let's talk about New York City hostels. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bunk beds and shared bathrooms, right? Well, think again. New York City's hostels have seriously upped their game. Take the Central Park West Hostel, for example. It's smack dab in the Upper West Side, giving you that coveted Manhattan address without the eye-watering price tag. You can choose between private rooms or dorms, and they've got cool perks like a community kitchen, hello midnight snacks, and a game room for when you want to mingle with fellow travelers. Or maybe you're looking for something a bit more hotel-like. I've got you covered. Check out Moxie near the Fashion District and Times Square. It's got this funky, playful vibe that'll make you feel like you're staying at a friend's place. They've got all the essentials, comfy beds, daily housekeeping, and high-speed Wi-Fi for when you need to spam your Insta with all those New York City adventures. Plus, the rooftop bar offers some killer views. Now, if you're all about that tech life, you're gonna love Citizen M in Hell's Kitchen. Picture this, rooms with mood lighting that you can control from your phone, smart TVs for streaming your favorite shows, and a 24/7 canteen for those late-night munchies. It's like living in the future, but cozier. And for those of you who can't decide between a hostel and a hotel, Freehand in the Flatiron District is your perfect middle ground. It's got an awesome artsy vibe with installations everywhere, and you can choose between private rooms or shared spaces. Their rooftop bar, Broken Shaker, is the cherry on top. Trust me, their cocktails are out of this world. Last but not least, let's talk about Airbnb. It's a great option if you want to live like a local and maybe save a few bucks by cooking some meals at home. You can find some real gems from cozy brownstones in Brooklyn to chic lofts in Manhattan. Just make sure to read the reviews carefully and communicate with your host before booking. Next, let's talk about getting around the Big Apple. Trust me, navigating New York City's transportation system is half the fun of being here. And with the right know-how, you'll be zipping around like a local in no time. First things first, let me introduce you to your new best friend, the 7-day Metro Pass. This little beauty is going to be your golden ticket to the city. For just $34, you get unlimited rides on the subway and local buses for a whole week. At less than $5 a day, this pass is going to save you a ton of cash. Now, let's talk about the subway. It's like the city's circulatory system, pumping New Yorkers to and fro 24/7. It might seem intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be amazed at how quickly you can get from one end of the city to the other. Pro tip, download a subway app like Citymapper or Transit. These apps are lifesavers when you're trying to figure out which train to take or when the next one is coming. But what if you're more of an above-ground kind of traveler? Well, you're in luck because your 7-day Metro Pass also works on buses. New York City's bus system is extensive and can be a great way to see the city while you're getting from A to B. I recommend using the buses in and around Central Park. It's a great way to get to all the museums in the area while also taking in views of Billionaires Row. Now I know what you're thinking. What about those iconic yellow taxis? Sure, they're a New York staple and great for those late night trips or when you're loaded down with shopping bags. But fair warning, they can get pricey, especially during rush hour when traffic turns Manhattan into a parking lot. For a more budget-friendly option, rent a CitiBike. It's the city's bike share program and it's a blast. You can grab a bike from one of the many stations around the city, pedal to your heart's content, and then drop it off at any other station. It's perfect for cruising through Central Park or along the Hudson River Greenway. And here's a little secret, walking is often the best way to experience New York. The city is incredibly walkable, and you'll never know what hidden gems you might stumble upon. A quirky boutique, a hole-in-the-wall pizzeria, or a street performer who might blow your mind. Lastly, don't forget about the ferry. The New York City Ferry is a great way to get around, especially if you want to explore some of the outer boroughs. Plus, the views of the skyline from the water are absolutely Instagram worthy. Alright, let's dive into the core of the Big Apple, the attractions and activities that make New York City truly unforgettable. First up, we've got to talk about the City Pass. For just $146 for adults and $124 for kids, you get access to 5 of New York City's most iconic spots. The Empire State Building, the American Museum of Natural History, Top of the Rock Observation Deck, and your choice of either the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island, or a Circle Line sightseeing cruise. Plus, you get to pick between the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, or the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. Talk about bang for your buck. With City Pass, you save a whopping 41% compared to buying individual tickets. Now, if you're looking to squeeze even more out of your trip, the New York Pass might be your jam. This bad boy gives you access to over 100 attractions across the city. Prices vary depending on how many days you want, between 1 and 10 days. But here's the kicker, the more you see, the more you save. We're talking potential savings of up to 50% on all your sightseeing. Plus, it includes some cool perks like skip the line access at select attractions. Just remember, you'll need to plan your days wisely to make the most of it. But hey, New York isn't all about the big ticket items. There's a whole world of free and low-cost activities waiting for you to discover. Like Bryant Park. This 9.6-acre oasis in the middle of Manhattan is a local favorite. In the summer, you can enjoy free group yoga and Tai Chi lessons. Come winter, it transforms into a festive village with the city's only free admission ice skating rink. Now that's what I call a New York minute. For all you culture vultures out there, many of New York City's world-class museums offer pay-what-you-wish admission on certain days. The Brooklyn Museum, for instance, is free on the first Saturday of every month. It's a great way to soak in some art on the city's dime. And let's not forget about all the incredible outdoor spaces. Central Park is obvious, but have you considered kayaking in Brooklyn Bridge Park? It's free on certain days, and you can paddle with a stunning view of Lower Manhattan. Talk about a unique perspective of the city. Last but not least, don't miss out on all the free entertainment. In the summer, you can catch star-studded outdoor concerts in Central Park, or enjoy free movie screenings under the stars in Bryant Park. It's the perfect way to spend a balmy New York evening. For a more comprehensive review on New York City, check out this video, and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm making more in-depth New York City videos as I speak, and I want you to know when they post up as soon as they do. Alright, let's kick off our New York adventure with a bang. Day 1 is all about Lower Manhattan, where the city's heart first started beating. We're talking history, culture, and some seriously iconic sights. Let's start our day at the southern tip of Manhattan in Battery Park. As you stroll through this 25-acre green oasis, take in the morning breeze off the harbor and snap some photos of the Statue of Liberty in the distance. Don't miss Castle Clinton, a circular sandstone fort that's seen more action than a Marvel movie, from military outpost to immigration station to concert hall. Next up, we're hopping on the ferry to Lady Liberty herself. Pro tip, book your tickets in advance through Statue City Cruises, the only authorized provider for ferry service to Ellis and Liberty Islands. As you cruise across the harbor, imagine the millions of immigrants who made this same journey. They started their New York journey right here, and not ironically, so are you. Once you're on Liberty Island, take your time exploring the museum and climbing up to the crown if you're feeling adventurous. Then it's on to Ellis Island, where you can trace the footsteps of your ancestors and maybe even find their names in the records. Back on Manhattan, we're heading to the heart of the financial district. Wall Street awaits, with its imposing buildings and the famous Charging Bull statue. Rub its nose for good luck. Your feet are gonna need it in this walking city. Then take a moment of reflection at the 9/11 Memorial. The twin pools with water cascading into seemingly bottomless squares are a powerful and moving tribute. As the afternoon rolls in, we're making our way to the One World Trade Center. Zip up to the observatory for breathtaking 360-degree views of the city, and at $49, in my opinion, it's worth the experience. Then, we'll use our best friend, the Metro card. and take the E train from the World Trade Center stop to 23rd Street and wrap up our day with a visit to Chelsea Market for delicious bites, followed by a stroll along the High Line. And if you're up for it, take the A train from 34th Street Penn Station, transfer to the F train at 4th Street Washington Square, and then get off at 2nd Avenue to catch a comedy show or live music in the East Village. It's a great way to cap off an incredible first day. Ready for a city safari in the concrete jungle? Then head to Midtown Manhattan. This is where New York really earns its reputation as the city that never sleeps. So lace up those comfy shoes and let's hit the ground running. We're kicking off at the iconic Empire State Building. Get there early to beat the crowds and watch the morning light spread across the city. As you zoom up 86 floors in less than a minute, talk about an ear-popping experience. Imagine the countless movie scenes filmed here. Once you're at the top, take in jaw-dropping 360-degree views. On a clear day, you can see up to 80 miles in every direction. Next, we're heading to the heart of Midtown, Times Square. Love it or hate it, this sensory overload of neon lights, giant billboards, and bustling crowds is quintessential New York. Grab a hot dog from a street vendor. It's practically a rite of passage, and people watch to your heart's content. Don't forget to strike a pose for a classic Times Square selfie. As lunchtime rolls around, we're ducking into the historic Grand Central Terminal. This isn't just a train station, folks. It's a work of art. Look up at the celestial ceiling, whisper secrets in the Whispering Gallery, and grab a bite at the Grand Central Market. Pro tip, the Oyster Bar has been serving up seafood here since 1913. After lunch, we're taking a stroll down 5th Avenue. Window shop at some of the world's most luxurious stores, or actually shop if your wallet can handle it, and make a pit stop at the stunning St. Patrick's Cathedral. This neo-Gothic masterpiece is a peaceful oasis amidst the Midtown madness. As the afternoon winds down, head over to Rockefeller Center. Take in the Art Deco architecture, watch ice skaters glide around the rink, or join them if it's winter, and snap a photo with the famous golden Prometheus statue. Then zoom up to the top of the Rock observation deck for sunset views that'll take your breath away. In my opinion, this is the best observation deck in the city, and at $40, it's definitely worth it. We're capping off our night with the ultimate New York experience, a Broadway show. Whether you're into musicals, dramas, or comedies, there's something for everyone. If you're on a budget, try your luck at the Tickets TKTS booth in Times Square for discounted same-day tickets. After the show, grab a late-night slice of pizza. You're in New York after all. Today, we're swapping the concrete jungle for some green spaces and world-class art. Get ready to explore Central Park and some of New York's most iconic museums. Let's start our day with a morning stroll through Central Park. This 843-acre oasis is the city's backyard, and there's so much to discover. Begin at the southeast corner and make your way to Bethesda Terrace and Fountain. This is where you'll find that classic Central Park view you've seen in millions of movies. Take a moment to watch the rowboats glide by on the lake, or better yet, rent one yourself for a truly romantic New York moment. As we wander north, keep your eyes peeled for some of the park's hidden gems. There's the whimsical Alice in Wonderland statue, perfect for a photo op. And don't miss Belvedere Castle. This miniature castle offers some of the best views in the park. If you're feeling peckish, grab a hot dog or pretzel from one of the many vendors dotting the paths. Now it's time to flex those brain muscles at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, affectionately known as the Met. This place is massive. We're talking over 2 million works of art spanning 5,000 years of human creativity. Don't try to see it all. Trust me, it's impossible. Instead, hit the highlights. The Egyptian Temple of Dendur, the Greek and Roman sculptures, and the Impressionist paintings are all must-sees. And here's a money-saving tip. The admission price is actually a suggested donation for New York residents, so pay what you can afford. After lunch at the Met's rooftop garden, we're heading across the park to the American Museum of Natural History. This is where dinosaurs come to life, the mysteries of the ocean depths are revealed, and you can journey to the stars without leaving Manhattan. The Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton and the giant blue whale model are showstoppers, but don't miss the planetarium shows. They're out of this world. As the day winds down, take a leisurely stroll through the park's north woods. This area feels more like a forest in the Adirondacks than the middle of New York City. It's the perfect place to reflect on all the amazing art and natural wonders you've seen today. For dinner, why not try one of the many restaurants lining Columbus Avenue on the Upper West Side? From cozy Italian trattorias to trendy farm-to-table spots, there's something for every palate and budget. Before we find ourselves in Brooklyn, find your way onto our subscribers list by smashing that subscribe button and hit the like button while you're at it. It's day 4 and we're making our way across the East River to Brooklyn, New York's hippest borough. Get ready for a day filled with iconic views, diverse neighborhoods, and some of the best food in the city. Let's kick things off with a walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. Trust me, this isn't just any old bridge crossing. It's a quintessential New York experience. As you stroll along the elevated pedestrian walkway, take in the panoramic views of the Manhattan skyline and the Statue of Liberty. Pro tip, start early to beat the crowds and catch that perfect Instagram shot. Once you've made it to Brooklyn, head straight to Dumbo. That's down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass for the uninitiated. This former industrial area turned artsy neighborhood is home to some of the most photographed streets in New York. Make your way to Washington Street for that classic shot of the Empire State Building framed by the Manhattan Bridge. Then wander through Brooklyn Bridge Park for stunning waterfront views and plenty of green space to relax. Feeling peckish? Time to hit up Grimaldi's for some of the best pizza in New York. This coal-fired brick oven pizzeria is an institution, and for good reason. Just be prepared to wait in line. It's worth it, I promise. After lunch, grab a CitiBike from one of the many Dumbo stations and explore some of Brooklyn's diverse neighborhoods. Start with Williamsburg, the epicenter of Brooklyn's hipster culture. Browse vintage shops on Bedford Avenue. Check out the street art at every corner, and maybe grab a craft beer at one of the many local breweries. Next, we're heading to Prospect Park, Brooklyn's answer to Central Park. Designed by the same architects, this 526-acre green space is a local favorite. Take the L train at Bedford Avenue Station and transfer to the Q train at 14th Street, Union Square. Don't worry about being in Manhattan, we're going back into Brooklyn. Then from Union Square, take the Q train to the Prospect Park Station and enjoy a leisurely stroll along Long Meadow, row a boat on the lake, or just find a shady spot to people watch. As the afternoon winds down, make your way to Brooklyn Heights Promenade. Take the Q train from Prospect Park and transfer to the 5 train at Atlantic Avenue Barclays Center. Then take the 5, get off at Borough Hall, and make your way down Montague Street. The promenade is an elevated walkway that offers some of the best views of Lower Manhattan and the Brooklyn Bridge, especially as the sun sets and the city lights start to twinkle. For dinner, we're walking down the DeKalb Market Hall. This food lover's paradise features over 40 vendors serving up everything from pierogi to poke bowls. It's the perfect place to sample Brooklyn's diverse culinary scene without breaking the bank. Cap your night off with a drink at one of Brooklyn's rooftop bars. The One Hotel Brooklyn Bridge offers stunning views of the Manhattan skyline, or try Westlight in Williamsburg for a trendier vibe. On day 5, we're heading uptown to discover the hidden gems and cultural treasures of Upper Manhattan. Get ready for a day filled with stunning architecture, vibrant neighborhoods, and some of the city's best-kept secrets. Let's start our day in Harlem, the epicenter of African-American culture in New York. Kick things off with a soul-satisfying breakfast at Sylvia's Restaurant, a Harlem institution since 1962. Their chicken and waffles are legendary, and trust me, you'll need the fuel for our action-packed day. After breakfast, take a stroll down 125th Street, Harlem's main drag. Check out the iconic Apollo Theater, where legends like Ella Fitzgerald and James Brown got their start. Next, we're heading to the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, the largest Anglican cathedral in the world. This architectural marvel is a mixture of Romanesque and Gothic styles, and it's still unfinished after more than a century of construction. Take a guided tour to learn about its fascinating history and stunning artworks. Tickets are priced at $15 for adults, $12 for seniors, and $10 for students. For lunch, let's hit up the Columbia University area. Grab a bite at one of the many student-friendly eateries along Broadway. After refueling, take some time to explore the beautiful campus. The steps of Low Library offer a great spot for people watching and soaking in the Ivy League atmosphere. In the afternoon, we're venturing into Washington Heights to visit the Cloisters, a branch of the Metropolitan Museum of Art dedicated to medieval European art and architecture. Set in Fort Tryon Park, this unique museum looks like it's been plucked straight out of medieval Europe. Don't miss the famous unicorn tapestries. And as the day winds down, head to Riverside Park for a leisurely stroll along the Hudson River. This 4-mile-long park, yes, 4 miles, offers beautiful river views and a peaceful escape from the city bustle. If you're feeling adventurous, rent a bike and cruise along the Riverside Path. For dinner, we're circling back to Harlem for some of the best African cuisine in the city. Try Ponte Bistro for a delicious fusion of African and French flavors. Their grilled lamb chops are to die for. Cap off your night with some live jazz at Bill's Place, a speakeasy-style club in a Harlem brownstone. It's cash only and BYOB, giving you that authentic underground jazz experience. On day 6, we're exploring 2 of New York's most diverse and exciting boroughs, Queens and the Bronx. Get ready for a day filled with cultural experiences, stunning parks, and some of the best food you'll find in the Big Apple. Let's kick off our day in Queens, starting with a visit to the Museum of the Moving Image in Astoria. This unique museum is dedicated to the art, history, and technology of film, television, and digital media. From vintage arcade games to interactive exhibits, it's a film buff's paradise. Next, we're heading to Flushing Meadows Corona Park, the site of 2 World's Fairs and home to some of Queens' most iconic structures. Take the M train at Steinway Street and transfer to the E train at Queens Plaza. Then take the E train and get off at Forest Hills 71st Avenue and have a stroll around the Unisphere, a massive steel globe that's become a symbol of the borough. If you're a sports fan, you might want to catch a Mets game at nearby Citi Field. For lunch, we're diving into Queens' incredible food scene. Head to Jackson Heights for a culinary world tour. Try some mouth-watering momos, Tibetan dumplings, or sample the best Indian food this side of Mumbai. If you're feeling adventurous, check out the Queens Night Market for a smorgasbord of international street food. Just be sure to check the website for the next night market event. The link is in the description. In the afternoon, we're making our way to the Bronx. Hop on the 7 train at 82nd Street, Jackson Heights, and transfer to the N train at Queensboro. Then take the N train to Lexington Avenue 59th Street in Manhattan and transfer to the 5 train. It sounds more complicated than it actually is, but once you're on the 5 train, get off at West Farm Square and Tremont Avenue, and you're a short walk from the world-famous Bronx Zoo. With over 4,000 animals representing more than 650 species, it's the largest urban zoo in the United States. Don't miss the Congo Gorilla Forest and the Wild Asia Monorail for an up-close look at some incredible creatures. After the zoo, take a stroll down Arthur Avenue, the Bronx's very own Little Italy. This charming street is lined with authentic Italian bakeries, delis, and restaurants. Grab a cannoli from one of the local pasticerias, you won't regret it. As the day winds down, head to the New York Botanical Garden. This 250-acre oasis is a stark contrast to the urban landscape, featuring more than 1 million plants in themed gardens and collections. The Enid A. Haupt Conservatory, a stunning Victorian-style glasshouse, is particularly breathtaking. For dinner, why not try some of the Bronx's famous Jamaican or Puerto Rican cuisine? Head to the South Bronx for some authentic Caribbean flavors that'll transport your taste buds to the tropics. We'll cap off our night with a visit to Wave Hill, a 28-acre public garden and cultural center in the Bronx. The sunset views of the Hudson River and the Palisades from here are simply spectacular. On our final day, we'll explore the 3 diverse areas of New York City: Staten Island, Coney Island, and Soho. Get ready for a day filled with history, beach vibes, thrills, and some of the best shopping in the city. Start your day by catching the Staten Island Ferry from Whitehall Street in Manhattan. This free 25-minute ride offers stunning views of the Statue of Liberty and the Manhattan skyline. It's like a complimentary sightseeing cruise. Once on Staten Island, head to the Staten Island Museum. This unique institution houses an eclectic collection spanning natural sciences, fine art, and local history. It's a great way to get a feel for the borough's rich cultural heritage. Before leaving Staten Island, visit the Staten Island September 11 Memorial. This poignant tribute offers a quiet moment of reflection and boasts beautiful views of Manhattan across the water. From Staten Island to Coney Island, consider taking an Uber or taxi. Not only will this save you an hour or more of commute time, you'll also get to cross the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, an often overlooked New York City landmark. Arrive at Coney Island just in time for Luna Park to open at 11 a.m. This amusement park is home to the legendary Cyclone roller coaster, a wooden behemoth that's been terrifying and delighting riders since 1927. If you're feeling brave, take a spin on the new Electric Eden Raceway, New York City's first sustainably powered go-kart attraction. After you've had your fill of rides, take a stroll down the famous boardwalk, soaking in the salty sea air and the buzz of excitement. Cool off with a dip in the Atlantic. Coney Island's beach is perfect for sunbathing, people watching, or building sandcastles. When hunger strikes, grab a Nathan's Famous hot dog. It's a Coney Island institution. Head back to Manhattan and spend your evening exploring Soho. The name Soho stands for south of Houston Street. And remember, it's pronounced Houston, not Houston like the city in Texas. Take the F train at 8th Street New York Aquarium all the way to the Broadway Lafayette Street exit and find yourself in Soho, renowned for its cast iron architecture, art galleries, and fantastic shopping. Wander down streets like Broadway, Spring Street, and Prince Street to find a mix of high-end designer boutiques, trendy chain stores, and unique local shops. It's the perfect place to pick up some last-minute souvenirs or treat yourself to something special. For dinner, Soho offers a wide array of options. Try Balthazar for a classic French bistro experience, or head to Dominic's for some of the best Italian food in the area. As night falls, consider capping off your New York adventure with a cocktail at one of Soho's trendy bars. The Ear Inn, one of the oldest bars in New York City, offers a taste of history along with your drink. This diverse day has taken you from the often overlooked charm of Staten Island to the classic Americana of Coney Island, and finally through the chic streets of Soho, a fitting end to your New York City adventure. Alright, let's talk about filling your belly without emptying your wallet in the Big Apple. New York City might have a reputation for being expensive, but trust me, there are plenty of budget-friendly dining options that'll make both your taste buds and your bank account happy. First up, there's the holy grail of New York City cheap eats, dollar pizza slices. Yeah, you heard that right. A whole slice of cheesy, saucy goodness for just $1. Joe's Pizza on Carmine Street is a classic spot, but you'll find dollar slice joints all over the city. It's not gourmet, but it's a New York rite of passage and perfect for a quick, cheap, yet delicious bite. Now, if you're craving something with a bit more kick, head to Shion Famous Foods. This chain started in a basement in Flushing and now has locations all over the city. Their hand-pulled noodles are the stuff of legend, and you can get a hearty flavored packed meal for under $15. The spicy cumin lamb noodles are my personal favorite. They'll set your mouth on fire in the best way possible. For a taste of the Middle East that won't break the bank, Mammons Falafel is your go-to. Their falafel sandwich is a steal at around $5, and it's packed with crispy falafel, fresh veggies, and tahini sauce. It's been a Greenwich Village staple since the 1970s, and for good reason. If you're in the mood for some seriously good Mexican food, Los Tacos No. 1 in Chelsea Market is a must visit. You can get a taco for $4, and they're some of the best you'll find in the city. The adobada, or marinated pork, is a crowd favorite, but honestly, you can't go wrong with any of their options. For a quick and satisfying breakfast or lunch, hit up one of the many halal carts scattered throughout the city. The Halal Guys on 53rd and 6th is probably the most famous, but you'll find great options everywhere. For about $7, you'll get a massive platter of rice, meat, and salad that'll keep you full for hours. Lastly, don't sleep on the food halls. Places like DeKalb Market Hall in Brooklyn or Essex Market on the Lower East Side offer a wide variety of cuisines at reasonable prices. It's perfect if you're with a group and everyone wants something different. And there you have it, folks. Your ultimate guide to conquering New York City in just 7 action-packed days. From the towering skyscrapers of Manhattan to the boardwalk vibes of Coney Island, we've covered all 5 boroughs and everything in between. We've hit the iconic sites, uncovered hidden gems, and even showed you how to eat like a king on a pauper's budget. Remember, the key to making the most of your New York City adventure is to mix it up. Balance the tourist hotspots with off-the-beaten-path experiences, and don't be afraid to explore. So lace up those comfy shoes, grab your Metro card, and get ready to take a bite out of the Big Apple. Trust me, after this week, you'll be singing New York, New York with the best of them. Now go out there and make some unforgettable memories in the city that never sleeps. From your pals at The Vacation Agent, safe travels.